Hello students, today I will be discussing about the blood pressure, which is an important topic in cardiovascular system. As you all know, the definition of blood pressure is this is the lateral pressure exerted by the column of blood which is flowing in the blood vessels onto the lateral walls. It has got two components. One is the systolic blood pressure and the other one is diastolic pressure. The systolic pressure is the maximum pressure exerted during the cardiac cycle, and diastolic pressure is the minimum pressure exerted during the cardiac cycle, that is during diastole, and this is during systole. That is why it is called as systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. As all of you are aware that systolic blood pressure, the normal value ranges. Normally we consider it as 120 mm of Hg and diastolic blood pressure as 80 mm of Hg. The range and all that I will tell you later on. So here there are certain factors which affect the systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. The factors affecting systolic blood pressure are mainly it depends on cardiac output. I hope all of you remember the definition of cardiac output. So cardiac output is the volume of blood ejected by each ventricle per minute is called as cardiac output, and the volume of blood ejected per beat is called as the stroke volume. So systolic blood pressure mainly depends on the cardiac output, and diastolic blood pressure mainly depends on the peripheral resistance. Here you are supposed to remember some other terminologies like pulse pressure. So what is this pulse pressure? This is the difference between the systolic and the diastolic blood pressure. So it comes around 120 mm of Hg minus 80, which is equal to 40 mm of Hg. So this pulse pressure is required to maintain a pulsatile flow of blood. Pulsatile flow of blood in the blood vessel, and this pulsatile flow of blood is required for tissue perfusion. So for tissue perfusion to take place, the pulsatile flow of blood is required, which is maintained by the pulse pressure. Next, we have to remember about mean arterial pressure, MAP. So this term is also important. So this is an average of pressures during the cardiac cycle. So mainly it is calculated with a formula. Mean arterial pressure is equal to diastolic blood pressure plus 1/3 pulse pressure. So this mean arterial pressure is also required for the forward flow of blood forward flow of blood in the vessel, so which is also essential for tissue perfusion. Two other types of blood pressures which we come across are casual blood pressure and the other one is basal blood pressure. Casual blood pressure is the one which is recorded at any time of the day. At any time of the day, the blood pressure which is measured is called as casual blood pressure, and the basal blood pressure is the pressure which is recorded usually after 12 hours of physical and mental rest, and preferably after fasting. Physical and mental rest and after 12 hours of fasting. So this is preferably in the morning as soon as the person gets up. So that we call it as the basal blood pressure. Next, coming on to the normal values. Normal values of blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure, we can give it a range from 100 to 119 mm of Hg. Diastolic blood pressure 60 to 79 mm of Hg. Pulse pressure from 20 to 50 mm of Hg, and mean arterial pressure 75 to 150 mm of Hg. Now the factors which affecting the blood pressure. So here the blood pressure is mainly depends on cardiac output and peripheral resistance. So cardiac output shows the systolic blood pressure and the peripheral resistance shows the diastolic blood pressure. Now this cardiac output depends on the stroke volume and the heart rate. So now the factors which affect the stroke volume also affect the cardiac output. So the factors affecting the stroke volume. Mainly three factors affect the stroke volume. One is the preload, the second one is the afterload, and third one is the myocardial contractility. Preload is also called as the end diastolic volume. End diastolic volume. This is the volume of blood which is left in the ventricle at the end of diastole. So this end diastolic volume affects the stroke volume. Increase in the end diastolic volume increases the stroke volume and vice versa. Afterload depends on peripheral resistance. So whatever factors which affect the peripheral resistance will show the effect on the stroke volume. Similarly, myocardial contractility, those factors which increases the myocardial contractility will increase the stroke volume, thereby indirectly affecting the cardiac output and the blood pressure. Next, the heart rate. The heart rate is mainly affected by this parasympathetic and sympathetic activity. So if they are stimulated, the heart rate may increase or decrease depending upon the activities. Next, coming on to the peripheral resistance. So the peripheral resistance, this mainly depends on two factors. One is diameter of the vessel wall, and second one is the viscosity. So diameter of the vessel wall, in conditions where vasoconstriction takes place, in such conditions there is increase in the peripheral resistance, and in vasodilatation there is a decrease in peripheral resistance. Increased peripheral resistance increases the blood pressure, and decreased peripheral resistance decreases the blood pressure. So this vasoconstriction and vasodilatation is maintained by the sympathetic activity. Sympathetic activity, this is also called as the vasomotor tone of the blood vessels. Next, viscosity. Viscosity of the blood is mainly by the components of the plasma, like the plasma proteins and the cellular components. So those conditions wherein the viscosity is increases the peripheral resistance. So increased viscosity increases peripheral resistance, thereby increasing the blood pressure, and vice versa. Decreases the peripheral resistance, thereby decreasing the blood pressure. Decreased viscosity is seen in conditions like anemia. Increased viscosity is seen in conditions like hyperproteinemia. So these are the two examples we can quote for viscosity. So these factors, viscosity and diameter of the vessel wall, are the factors which affect the peripheral resistance, which is going to affect the blood pressure. There are certain conditions during which the blood pressure is altered. So here we will see about the physiological conditions wherein the blood pressure is altered. Physiological conditions which alter the blood pressure. So first is age. In children, in adults, and in elderly people. So usually in children, systolic blood pressure is a bit less when compared to the adults, and in elderly people the systolic blood pressure may be considered as normal even at 160 mm of Hg. The second factor, eating after meals. After meals there is an increase in the blood pressure due to increased metabolism. After sleep there is a fall in blood pressure after waking up from sleep. Exercise. So usually the systolic blood pressure increases during all types of exercises. You should consider mild exercise, moderate exercise, and severe exercise. So in all these three types of exercise there is an increase in the systolic blood pressure, but the diastolic blood pressure varies. Diastolic blood pressure increases in mild exercise, remains static or stationary in moderate exercise, and decreases during severe exercise. Severe exercise because of increased metabolites. There is accumulation of metabolic byproducts, so which causes vasodilatation. So because of this increased metabolites as well as increase in the temperature of the body, body temperature. So because of these two factors, the diastolic blood pressure decreases during severe exercise. Next factor is fifth one, temperature. So in hot climate or in summer there is a fall or decrease in the blood pressure. In cold climate the blood pressure increases. Next, during pregnancy, systolic blood pressure increases in all the three trimesters, that is first, second and third. But the diastolic blood pressure is affected by progesterone, which relaxes the smooth muscle of the blood vessels, thereby causes vasodilatation. So the effect of progesterone is seen on the blood vessels and shows its effect on the diastolic blood pressure. In case of females, the blood pressure is low when compared to males. So here also the hormone progesterone is said to play an important role. So these are. Next factor is posture. Posture is also another factor which alters the blood pressure. There is a sudden decrease in the blood pressure when the person gets up from lying down position or supine position to standing position. There is a fall in the blood pressure. So these are some of the physiological conditions wherein the blood pressure is altered.